I would like to hear everybody's best yeehaw. I don't really yeehaw very often, so I would like us to go around and I want to hear your best yeehaw, please, if that's okay. Austin, what kind of yeehaw do you like to do when you yeehaw?
Side mouth, deep voice.
Okay, go on.
Yeehaw!
That's very good. That's a very good yeehaw. Marcus, how would you yeehaw if you yeehawed?
Yeehaw now.
Okay, so more of the relaxed, like, it's all good yeehaw.
I think that was just my complete lack of enthusiasm to do what you asked me to
produce
do.
what
I did it.
Yeah, you did technically. Thank you. It's very on
Yeehaw.
brand. It's very on brand for you, though. So it's good. Tiny, what kind of yeehaw would you like to do?
I'm a little shy.
Okay.
What's yours first?
No.
Then I'll go.
No. This was my idea. I get to go last.
Okay. That was mine.
Is that what a yeehaw is to you? Is that what you've been told throughout your life? Like, that's what a yeehaw is?
Yeah.
Dadgummit.
My dad had to scream yeehaw, I love Carnival shoes for free coupons inside of a Carnival shoes one time. So this all got real awkward, and I hate that. Dane, what was yours?
Well, I've never really done mine out loud before, but I think it's something like yee-haw.
Yeah.
Yee-haw. Yee-haw.
He's got the fifth. I can't do the third harmonium. But I can't hear it.
I love Carnival shoes. Brought to you by Subaru.
Hey everybody, I'm Dane Holland, and it's gonna get funky.
Hey, I'm Austin Shazam Pfeiffer, and I'm buying drinks for everybody.
I'm Marcus, world's leading rainbowologist, known as IamELECTRICman.
I'm Austin Tiny Zent, and I'm wearing them icy white Lamborghinis, y'all.
Ooh. And this is Nerded Through the Grapevine. It's a podcast where four best friends gather weekly to talk about our favorite parts of past, present, and future nerd culture. And sometimes, when we've been podcasting for, I think, an actual year now, I think this is our 1 year anniversary, I think we're going to celebrate by sharing some poetry with all of our listeners, because we've been getting so many emails and phone calls and physical mail in our P.O. box, and just the Discord is lighting up with it, and Twitter, and just everywhere is doing, guys, poetry, where's your poetry? Mm-hmm. And so we've hunted down some of the best Southern poets that we could possibly find. And Southern poetry, real big in the South, also, and all over the world, really, but definitely around here. Nashville being a very large community of Southern poets. Mm-hmm. A lot of people travel there just to get their Southern poetry going, just to get stardom.
Yep, and there's even I think a poet's alley in Nashville because
Excellent.
of these poets.
Okay,
I believe
wonderful.
so.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah, it's a big deal.
it is.
It's a really big deal. I'll just get right to it. The Southern poet that I'm bringing to you today, his name is Jerrod Niemann. Jerrod Niemann. The title, don't let the title scare you off right away. He's a very brave man for writing this thing. It's really from his soul. The title of his poem is called Donkey.
Donkey.
Donkey. Like, from Shrek. Marcus, you've seen.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen the movie.
Oh, yeah.
The animal.
The best character.
So
Absolutely.
on Shrek.
I grew up next to one.
Perfect.
So let's find out what gut-wrenching tale that this donkey is involved in.
Yeah, I'd like to hear what adventure this donkey has gone on, if there is an adventure at all. Jerrod, here it is. Here's his wonderful Southern poem titled Donkey. Put my Chevy in the ditch, couple grand to get it fixed. Bank account running dry, boss ain't got no overtime. Friday rolls around, gotta get this party to town. Got nothing to drive, but just outside, I hear my ride. Gonna ride that donkey, down to the honky tonky. It's gonna get funky, funky. Gonna ride that donkey, down to the honky tonky. It's gonna get funky, funky. George Jones took a John Deere tractor. Hope my donkey gets there faster. When I pull up in no pickup truck, jocks break out in laughter. But the ladies think it's cool. I kick it with a mule. I fill their glass. They tip them back. They dig the way I ride that ass, and I do. You would if you could, too. They all walk funny when they're done riding you know who.
Oh my!
Gonna ride that donkey, down to the honky tonky. It's gonna get funky, funky. Gonna ride that donkey, down to the honky tonky. It's gonna get funky, funky. All the ladies like to ride. Oh, the ladies like to ride. Oh, the ladies like to ride. The ladies like my DONKE. Why? Well, they say that it's last call. No, I don't sweat it, y'all. Got a bottle in the saddle, a 6-pack in the stall. So, baby, what do you say we giddy up to my place? We hit the barn. Ain't no harm rolling in the hay. Hey, gonna ride that donkey, down to the honky tonky. It's gonna get funky, funky. Gonna ride that donkey, down to the honky tonky. It's gonna get funky, funky. Gonna ride that donkey. Gonna ride that donkey. Gonna ride that donkey, down to the honky tonky. It's gonna get funky, funky. Gonna ride that donkey, down to the honky tonky. It's gonna get funky, funky. Gonna ride that donkey, down to the honky tonky. It's gonna get funky, funky.
Wonderful.
Now,
I mean, that really speaks to my soul.
what did it make you feel? Because I feel a lot of things from this poem, and
Same.
I need to know if my feelings are valid.
I feel more connected with nature.
Right?
Honestly.
With-
Just his admiration for the beautiful, majestic creature that is the donkey.
Yes, absolutely.
I feel like Shrek's given donkeys such bad names because they automatically they look at donkeys and they think it's a flying talking donkey. It's gonna be like the donkey off of Shrek, but that's
right.
not the case. Donkeys are majestic creatures. They're protectors. They're guardians.
Yeah.
And the fact that this donkey would trust him enough to allow him to ride it to the honky tonky.
Right. Which is not the safest place for all donkeys.
Yeah, I mean, somebody could be drunk leaving the honky tonky.
I've seen it many times.
You know, you can take your Ford Bronchi and hit that donkey.
Yeah. I mean, that poem took me back to my childhood.
Yeah.
Living at home with my mother and my father.
Right.
Because like I said, I grew up with a donkey across the street.
Yeah.
And he and I would talk to each other when I'd be outside cutting wood and stacking it to heat our house for the winter time.
Right.
You know, he'd be over there like hee-hawing, and I'd hee-haw back. And it took me back to the simpler times and just reminded me of home and love.
It's okay. It's fine. This is
And-
safe. You're safe here.
And I just feel that from the poet.
Right.
And
Well,
somebody else.
No, you take
Somebody
a
else
minute.
go. I need a minute.
Marcus?
Well, of course, good art makes us feel things.
Right. Correct.
But I can't help but try to surmise the author's intent of the poem.
Okay.
And I just can't help but think that might it be that the donkey is an innuendo for his genitals?
That's interesting.
Do you think that he actually made that point in there? Was that like the innuendo that I missed in there, that he was referring to his donkey as...
Well, there is a moment where he does mention they all walk funny when they're done riding you know who.
well, that's...
But riding
Evidence
any,
to support my theory.
riding
I think.
any animal.
Well,
He might
pick
have
up the
had-
third stanza.
He might have had a large, rotund, girthy donkey that he enjoyed riding to and fro, and including to the honky tonk.
Wait, are you saying there's a half rodent, half donkey?
No, where did you get rodent? I said rotund.
Oh, sorry.
Robust, even.
I think it's a daring call
It
to
was
say
just,
this.
it was just a question.
Because in my opinion, I saw both this message being against the teachings of Shrek, and it's obviously about that.
Yes.
I mean, but that's very surface, right? And we're not trying to look at the surface; we're trying to look at the
Right.
deeper meaning. And apologies to Shrek and the creators; you did a wonderful job. We don't speak on behalf of Jerrod, but his message is clear. It's also against industrialization, right? I mean, we see this donkey, his choice of donkey as opposed to a vehicle, right? So he's, again, with your point on nature. But I now all I can think about is the phallic nature of this poem. And
I think the third stanza has the most evidence, if I'm not mistaken.
now, is this, the third stanza is odd. It has a break in it. Is this where it's all the ladies like to ride?
Maybe.
Oh, the ladies like to ride. Oh, the ladies like to ride. The ladies like to ride my DONKEY.
And there was
That
something
one?
about head off to the hay.
Yes. We hit the barn. Ain't no harm rolling in the hay. Hey.
Have you not fed your donkey before? Donkeys eat hay, Marcus, and sometimes they get what is known as happy feet, and they begin to dance and roll about. I do that as well when I'm consuming delicious foods. It's just what it is.
And that also, I think that he might be referencing in this song an older poet from an earlier age. I believe that they were more of urban poetry,
Right.
But it was, girl, let me ride that donkey. Let me ride that donkey.
Interesting.
I think his name was C.W.G.
Yes.
I think they're from the same province.
Yeah. No, I believe you're right. And urban poetry and southern poetry do cross paths often.
Especially over the majestic creatures like this. I mean, they have commonalities.
But what's odd, in your example just now, he wants to ride that donkey that is a part of a woman.
Yeah.
Right? In this song, it's about the women riding
Donkeys.
his donkey.
But
So-
C.W.G. He was
Right.
his song poem was Donkey Butt.
Ah.
So it wasn't about solely just the animal; it was the appreciation for the posterior of said animal.
Oh. So he's just really into okay. All right.
That donkey butt and them big old
Right.
legs. I'm not too hard to beg.
Right.
Ain't no shame in this game.
Right.
I feel it was a piece about going green, and how
Yes.
we
Yes.
proliferate fossil fuels
Right.
and just pollute our atmosphere. Because he said he rides that donkey, and the ladies want to ride that donkey. They too have seen how green it is and how it can save our planet. That's what it's about, Marcus. It's not about genitals. It is about saving this little fragile blue ball that we live on called the Earth.
Well, we're all free to interpret art however we see fit, as long as there's evidence to support it.
Exactly. And that's
I was just questioning
why-
whether the author intended for the innuendos there.
I mean,
right.
I can
And,
understand that.
There were so many missed.
Because in all great art, there tends to be some sexual imagery.
I mean,
Yes,
just like the
yes.
Statue of David. I mean, the Statue of David was
He's got the
supposed to be
bean right there for you.
supposed to be the perfect man. And I mean, if that's the perfect man,
It's right there.
The Statue of Liberty is another one.
agreed. Beautiful.
The perfect man.
It is another statue.
No, she's
yes.
a large, beautiful woman that
Oh.
stands for justice and freedom.
Do you think she rode a donkey here?
She may have.
From France?
She may have.
I think she might
Over
have.
the ocean?
Oh, yeah. Well, apparently donkeys can do all kinds of things, much more than I thought.
Especially down to they go down to the honky tonky.
Yeah.
And
The donkey?
but there were so many different things that you could be doing with the donkey, or even if I
What,
was
like
the,
what?
like-
Hold on.
No, if you were going to ride the donkey,
Yes.
you could have gone to more places than just the honky tonky. Broaden your your horizons.
Right.
But that doesn't rhyme as well.
Yeah, exactly. This is the type of poetry with
It's
rhyming
supposed to be
scale.
beautiful language.
Right.
I
Yes.
get it, but if you're
Austin.
gonna ride your donkey,
This is poetry. Okay.
You could go down to some. There's other onkies you can go to.
Well, he also said that it would be funky, if I'm not mistaken.
And maybe that girl was chonky.
Well,
Funky could be pronounced
You know-
funky, and that could be my mistake.
I mean, I'm starting to see more of what Marcus was saying about the genitals because there's a common colloquialism for an unattractive female. I don't call ladies this because I feel like it's rude, but an unattractive female is also known as a swamp donkey.
Oh,
So maybe
This is
maybe
true.
this
This is
maybe
true.
this
I haven't thought about this.
Maybe-
I haven't heard that phrase since I might have been 12 years old.
maybe this gentleman is attracted to the undesirable women.
But he's wanting other people to ride his said swamp donkey, which
Apparently
maybe
he
he's into
enjoys
that.
sharing.
maybe
okay.
maybe the donkey is actually a woman the whole time. And it's just a swamp donkey that he piggybacks to the honky tonky and then it pimps out
Oh my
to all the
goodness.
willing fellas.
Oh my
or
goodness.
ladies.
This could be much more risque than your.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to say this, but your penis comment.
About my genitals comment? Yes.
Yeah. This is even more risque than that.
It possibly.
So if he's
Just
gonna
saying.
ride his
Is that why this donkey is funky?
that poor swamp donkey
So funky.
All I can think of is the swamp thing, and it's just like it's a comic called The Swamp Donkey, and that's so good. That's so good.
Coming up out of the fog.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, all I have to say to Mr. Jerrod is, how dare you, sir? Women deserve better treatment than this, than to
Absolutely.
be called swamp donkeys.
Yes.
I can't believe that he would say that.
I can't either, and literally his words.
Yeah. Every woman is beautiful and vibrant
Yes.
and strong.
Yes.
And they don't need men.
No. And they don't need donkeys.
They do not. They do not
And they
need
don't need
donkeys.
Jerrod.
do
So,
not.
This started off as an appealing piece of literature that's turned into filth, and I want
And misogyny.
and I want to apologize to all of our listeners and my three friends in this room. I'm
okay.
sorry. I'm
It's
really sorry.
I mean, mistakes do happen. Now, my submission is by a local boy, nay, a local man, by the name of Big Smo. And this is his poem, C.W.G.
C.W.G. Just
Yes.
the letters. Okay.
Yes, the letters,
right.
C.W.G. The acronym, I feel, becomes apparent throughout the poem.
Okay.
I'm a southern fried cracker with my dreams and a plan. Without my girl in my world, I might be half of that man. Lady Luck in my life when I'm playing the odds. She's like an angel sent from heaven or a gift from the gods. But she's got fire in her eyes and from her head to her toes. She's a certified dime with the streets in her soul. She puts the heat in my heart when I'm feeling so cold. And she's got my six when we rollin' dirty down these back roads.
Okay.
She's a big booty queen with a hell of a swag. Got them Dolce frames poppin' with the strap in her bag. And that back so bad that we should rock them jeans. She's the queen of my aqua dreams, you know what I mean. Yeah, she can get the business any time of the day. My lil double-barrel baby when we're rolling the hay. Or when we're rolling for pay, she be locked and loaded. She's down for a man and she'll pop to show it. She's a C.W.G. baby. One to roll shotgun when I'm riding dirty. One to roll a tight one when I'm driving funny. And she's got my back, boy. I ain't gotta worry. I need a C.W.G. baby. One to split the shell with her nail. Get to fighting and go to jail. Write her name in a holding cell, my baby. A lot of dudes have problems expressing their heart until they walk out the club and see them dents in their car. and they start telling them girls how important they are. These girls are running around here emotionally scarred. She's been with a boy. She's trying to deal with a man. She was confused in her youth, but now she understands that she can do bad by her damn self. So save that broke mess for somebody else. Lil' mama help a dude get up on his feet. Hold his heat up for him late night in the street. No matter how big you get, never forget she was with you back when you was still selling 16s. And them other broads wasn't thinking about you. Now they talking to you, trying to get a drink about you. And you a trick going for it, need to leave them girls alone, 'cause you got a good one waiting on your ass at home. She's a C.W.G, baby. One to roll shotgun when I'm riding dirty. One to roll a tight one when I'm driving funny. And she's got my back, boy, I ain't gotta worry. I need a C.W.G, baby. One to split the shell with her nail. Get to fighting and go to jail. Write her name in a holding cell, my baby. I love the way she break it down and straight hustle the block and have the whole club staring at the way that she walk. A couple Jaeger bombs, baby, go on, give me a shot. We'll shut the bar down and open up the after spot. She's a backstage beauty, prime time for a poll, but I'd never put my baby on display for a show. She's VIP, but just for me, and we could take it to the top of the penthouse suite, 'cause she's my C.W.G, baby. She could drive the whole gosh damn world crazy. Half the time I'm out of my mind from the days that she trips. I pack my bags and try to leave, but I just can't split. And even though she's thrown off a little out of control, she's the apple of my eye, the true match to my soul. We go to ride together, touch the sky together. My C.W.G, baby, will die together. She's a C.W.G, baby. One to roll shotgun when I'm riding dirty. One to roll a tight one when I'm driving funny. And she's got my back, boy, I ain't gotta worry. I need a C.W.G, baby. One to split the shell with her nail. Get to fighting and go to jail. Write her name in a holding cell. My baby.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like there's a lot to unpack there.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I'm trying to
but
look
it
past the
is
surface.
Fairly simple, and it's
It is. It's very simple.
It's just he's just in love. He loves his girlfriend.
He really.
yeah.
Well,
I got
Is it
kind
his
of
girlfriend?
I got kind of lost. CWG.
Yeah, I don't know what that
yeah, I
is.
still don't know. I
You
still
told me
didn't
it
pick
mentioned
up.
it several times throughout the theme, and I honestly was just trying to. I don't know what CWG means.
What is CWG, please?
I feel like CWG means crazy white girl because
okay.
I mean she seems a little eccentric.
Right.
But she's willing to fight for her man if need be.
Well, she's willing to get damaged property.
She's willing to
she dented vehicles.
Well, no. In that particular stanza of the poem,
Right.
he was saying that because of men's attitudes and mistreatment of women,
Right.
that they sometimes do not realize what they're doing until they have driven these poor young women to the extremes, and the only thing that they know to do is to possibly knock dents in your car.
And another Southern poet actually wrote about this in an experience she had where a relationship she had went south, and she said that she had to actually take matters into her own hands, and she described it when she said, I dug my key into the side of his pretty little souped-up four-wheel drive.
That's vandalism.
Carved my name into his leather seat. But the thing is,
Isn't that Miss Underwood?
It's vandalism.
it was Carrie Underwood.
Yes,
Carrie
yes.
Underwood.
Carrie, yes.
That's who
We're
I thought.
familiar.
And she also said maybe next time he'll think
Yes.
before he cheats.
Well, and also the song's example of, and your example as well of Miss Underwood. Whenever you are physically, or when you're emotionally and mentally abusive, it can lead to physical damages to your property, much like your vehicle. Well, That deserves it, probably,
Yeah.
right? That probably deserves
yes,
that.
yes.
It does, and I apologize. But yes, I see that this woman. It sounds like this woman in the poem has had a very difficult past. I don't believe with this gentleman because he seems to
No.
treat her correctly.
Yes.
From his side of the story.
Yes.
Now we haven't heard.
Well,
we have not heard what she thinks about this
we have
relationship.
not. But he did say that he feels. Now I'm going to quote the lines because I feel that he expressed it the best. She's a backstage beauty, prime time for a poll. But I'd never put my baby on display for a show. She's VIP, but just for me. So I feel like he knows exactly what he has.
Right.
And he's not willing to put his beautiful lady on display for anybody but himself.
And he admires her so much,
Yes.
and he loves and desires that beauty to be his, though it seems almost
Right.
overly possessive.
It
But
does.
I think, though, in this specific situation, he might think that she has a smile that could melt 1,000 army trucks.
Yes.
I'm surprised it's not in the poem.
It
Yeah.
very well could be in the author's notes or something.
Now,
Yeah, it could be.
what he's done is he's called this woman. He said, you could be a stripper, you crazy white woman.
No, he's saying you're so beautiful that you could be.
Right.
But I would
But I'm
not
saying
let
it in
other
its-
people
in its most basic
objectify
form,
you.
right.
Yes.
But I want to hide you in a room because you look like a stripper, you crazy white woman.
No. He wants to take her to the top of the
what I'm
penthouse
hearing.
suite.
I hear a little bit of that too. Well, just because he's in the penthouse suite doesn't mean he's not locked her in there.
Well, but see, she, from his point of view, also is willing to back him up because
Stockholm syndrome.
She has his
no,
six.
She has his six.
Although this is a good point.
And it does say that she has a strap in her bag, which that is common slang for she carries a firearm.
See, no.
So if she needs to,
No,
she's
she-
willing to defend
She
herself and her
used to
man.
secretly
Now.
chase tornadoes with her father, Bill. And what she learned is when he meant always stay strapped, that means that you had to carry a leather strap with you in case of tornadoes. So
I mean,
This young woman has been kidnapped.
I'm going to peruse this poem again to see.
Just glance right
Well-
over it to see anything that goes against that argument.
Well, to lend a little credence to that,
Clearwater? We need this
he
water clear
does
right
say
now.
we ride together, we touch the sky together. My C.W.G. baby, we'll die together.
That
It sounds
that's not up to her.
It sounds a little Romeo and Juliet to me. I mean, the star-crossed lovers, like they weren't supposed to be together, but they saw each other and they couldn't help but fall in love.
Across the neighborhood.
Yes, they were probably. Now, I don't mean to shame anyone because I too grow up in a modular home, but they were probably in a modular home park, right? And they saw each other across the gravel road, or more than likely the long shared driveway with the other 40 modular homes. So she was probably out, maybe on a tire swing, and he was probably doing some sort of chores, probably working on his truck or maybe his father's pickup truck.
I actually remember seeing
And-
a little clip that had been painted in reference to this, and he was disassembling a dirt bike.
I mean, close. I was close. I was just going off the feeling. And so he was probably rebuilding, I would assume probably the head, And he looked up and he saw her across the way and just couldn't help but be struck by her beauty.
and kidnap her.
No, I don't feel like it was kidnapping.
She is locked within a penthouse.
No.
It's what I've gathered.
No.
He does not want to share her beauty with the world.
Because ever since he broke apart that engine and discovered the inner workings of it, he's had a desire to find
But
out the inner
if
workings
he-
of the people as well.
But if he kidnapped her, how come in this line he says, I pack my bags and try to leave, but I just can't split? Even though, she's
If
the
he
apple
goes
of
to-
my eye, the true match to my soul.
If he goes
tried
too
to
far away
leave.
from the scene, she could escape.
Yeah.
He has to stay.
Watch.
If he's not
Well-
there watching, she could leave.
I really don't feel like that's the case.
okay, well, you're entitled to your opinion.
Absolutely. That's
mean-
why we're having this discussion. But in my semi-professional opinion.
But he also says he ain't got to worry because she has his back in the refrain.
Well, of course, we mentioned that, though, the Stockholm Syndrome, because she feels a desire towards her captor.
Right. This is common. It's
It
very
is.
common.
Well, this other line, it says she's down for her man and she'll pop to show it.
This isn't her man. She
He's
is
her
his
man.
woman. I don't believe he is her man. I believe she's been taken
But
from her
also
man.
here in this other line, in the second stanza.
It took a long time to count to 2, but
Well, I was scrolling because of the refrain, and then I lost the line.
yes.
Little mama help a dude get up on his feet, hold his heat up for him late night in the streets.
So you got this lady out in the street.
No
holding
matter how
fire.
big you get, never forget she was with you back when you were still selling 16s.
So he's a sex trafficker for underage children.
No,
It's
absolutely
16s.
not.
What else would 16s
What else is
be?
16 supposed
what
to
else
be?
would that be? This man has trapped this woman, and he's doing
Wheels.
the same with younger women.
Wheels and tires. He was selling
He's wheeling.
16-inch wheels and tires for lowriders.
Where does-
Obviously.
does it-
I
Obviously,
don't-
is a strong words there.
I don't know. Obviously, wouldn't really
Obviously,
fit
it's
because
a strong words
we've
there.
already disassembled it into the penthouse lockup, the Stockholm Syndrome. Now
No.
we have sex trafficking.
I feel like
This is-
y'all are.
It's getting worse the more you try to point out that it's not the case.
No, that's not the case. I feel like y'all are misreading this.
I didn't read it
This-
at all.
Mishearing this and misinterpreting.
This is all
This is
subject to
simply-
this is all subject to interpretation.
This is simply a
don't,
man
don't get mad.
Marcus,
talking about how much he loves his lady.
would you like consider
Marcus,
this a
what's your
vote? Yeah,
opinion?
Marcus, consider this a vote, right? And so far we have 2 votes for this not being a very good man,
Yeah.
and 1 vote for him being a very great partner.
My initial hearing of the oration, thank you, by the way, for your
Absolutely.
beautiful
Yeah,
oration
you
of
did a
this
very
poem.
good job. That
I still can't get those feelings that he actually really just cares about this young woman.
Well, I guess it's a tie then. But in all good art, like you said, there's going to be some disagreement.
Well, you know,
Well,
a good
art-
tinfoil theory here
Art
and there.
does inspire passion.
That brings me to my artist.
Mm-hmm.
He is an amazing Southern poet. I actually got a chance to meet this man once. He wrote this drunk on a plane.
Drinking is, many poets.
Okay,
Many poets.
which
write
kind
their
of
best
plane?
work while drunk.
Like large grassy field or like aeroplane.
I'll leave that up to your interpretation after
Okay.
I read the poem.
Okay, I'm sure it will become evident.
His name is Dierks,
Dierks, okay.
but he's got a last name that's not real. It's one of those pseudonames for an author. Is that what it's called?
Pseudonym.
Pseudonym?
Is it a pseudonym?
Pseudonym.
A name that's like his fake name.
Alias.
Yes.
Yeah, an
Alias?
Pseudonym.
or a
Stage name.
stage name.
Stage name?
But-
Stage.
But his
oh,
name is Dierks Bentley. His last name is Bentley.
Bentley, yeah.
Bentley. So that's just absolutely. I took 2 weeks vacation for the honeymoon. A couple tickets, all inclusive, down in Cancun. I couldn't get my money back, so I'm in seat 7A. I'm getting drunk on a plane. I bet the fella on the aisle thought I was crazy, 'cause I taped your picture to the seat back right beside me. Now I've got empty mini bottles filling up both trays. I'm getting drunk on a plane. Buying drinks for everybody, but the pilot, it's a party. Got this 737 rocking like a G6. Stewardess is something sexy. Leaning, pouring, Coke and whiskey. Told her about my condition. Got a little mile-high flight attention. It's Mardi Gras up in the clouds. I'm up so high, may never come down. I'll try anything to drown out the pain. They all know why I'm getting drunk on a plane. We had this date marked on the calendar forever. We take the new wed limo airport ride together. I feel like a plastic groom alone there on top of the cake. So, hey, I'm getting drunk on the plane. Buying drinks for everybody. But the pilot, it's a party. Got this 737. Rocking like a G6. Stewardess is something sexy. Leaning, pouring Coke and whiskey. Told her about my condition. Got a little mile-high flight attention. It's Mardi Gras up in the clouds. I'm up so high, may never come down. I'll try anything to drown out the pain. They all know why I'm getting drunk on a plane. On my way home, I'll bump this seat right up to first class so I can drink cheap champagne out of a real glass. And when we land, I'll call her up and tell her to kiss my ass. 'Cause, hey, I'm drunk on a plane. Buying drinks for everybody but the pilot. It's a party. Got this 737 rocking like a G6. Stewardess is something sexy, leaning, pouring Coke and whiskey. Told her about my condition. Got a little mile-high flight attention. It's Mardi Gras up in the clouds. I'm up so high, I may never come down. I'll try anything to drown out the pain. They all know why. I'm getting drunk on a plane. I'm getting drunk on a plane. I might be passed out in the baggage claim, but right now, I'm drunk on a plane.
Wonderful.
Wow.
Wonderful. What a roller
I love
coaster,
that.
right?
Am I the only one that initially thought that the poor gentleman in the song's wife had passed on?
Yeah. Yeah,
I felt like at the beginning that he had overcorrected and was trying to hold his life together, but then I seen in the last stanza that obviously this poor gentleman's lady has left him.
At the same time, too, I can agree with the entirety of it being that she died, but left him alone and bitter. But since he's alone and bitter, and he's got his picture of her taped up and everything, by the time he gets back, he's just like, you know what? Screw you. I don't need you. I'm going to move on.
He already did.
Well,
He had sexual
spoke
relations
about
with
calling
a woman
her.
that works for the airline.
Well, I don't know if that's necessarily what he's talking about. It's not always got to be sexual. I mean, he could have a heart condition.
Yes, it does.
And she could be a certified, some kind of flight attendant with certifications for medical diagnoses. I don't know if those exist, but,
Mile high attention.
yeah.
I mean, I have seen a movie before where Mile High was in the title, and based on the film applying it to this poem, it was definitely something sexual. I'm sorry, but
Okay, but what if...
that was not me canonizing. I'm
Oh, my
sorry.
gosh, I got...
That was an accident.
I couldn't have argued with it past that point. So.
I'm not going to do this because it's strictly interpretive.
Right.
Okay.
So
Nothing-
I shall not
nothing here is
canonize
canon.
anything.
Right.
Yes, that was a complete
Okay,
accident. I'm sorry.
thank you, because that mile-high flight attention, that could be something else besides sexual nature. I mean, what else? Told her about my condition. Maybe he fell down going to the bathroom because he's got a bad leg.
He is getting drunk.
Or a
Maybe he was
broken
doing
heart.
maybe he was doing a crossword, right? Maybe he's having trouble thinking of the word and he needs some attention. He needs help finishing the crossword because he's too drunk. He can't do crosswords. I can't do crosswords sober. Much less this man that likes to party doing what was it? Doing coke and drinking alcohol?
I think
on an airplane?
Yeah, and how she's pouring Coke and the whiskey at the
There's
same
gotta
time.
be a lot of cocaine if you're pouring it, right?
I feel like it could be Coca-Cola.
See, I don't know if the
Not a party. He said party.
He did say
And
party.
if you're
No, no.
partying,
And you're over.
I have partaken
12.
in a drink called a Jack and Coke,
okay, gross.
and that was Coca-Cola
Uh-huh.
with some Jack Daniels.
Okay.
So I feel like that's probably what this gentleman is doing.
I
He's
feel like he would have
consuming one
mentioned
of
soda.
those.
I think he's high because he taped a picture of a woman on the back of a seat of a plane.
he's also in a plane. So yes, he is geographically high.
Yes.
Well, that is more topographically. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Sometimes I get those two mixed up.
Wait, so he's getting his mile-high flight attention.
Right. Helping him with the crossword puzzle, as
Yes.
we've noted.
Yes, but that was his condition.
Right.
But so there must have been a question about a condition on his crossword.
Yes.
Like 7 down.
It just said condition. That
Yeah.
was the and come on. Who's going to guess that? No one.
Yeah.
But the flight attendant, she's seen a lot of crosswords up there.
Yeah, and 7 down, that would have been 1, 2, 3, 4. Condition that would have to. Okay, yeah, I'll give you some attention on this. That makes sense. I got mile high flight attention one time while I was on a plane, and it was actually it wasn't sexual at all. It's just that the flight attendant paid attention to me when I asked him for another water.
Well, but here's why. Okay. See, he did not purchase anything for the pilot. He did for everyone else. So I feel like possibly this gentleman's wife had left him for the pilot. Because he did buy things for the co-pilot.
He did.
But not the pilot. He was very specific on saying, I bought nothing for that pilot.
Because he wants you to think he's responsible with that comment, right?
right.
But he's
I
not
see
being
hiding.
responsible.
What's he
Sense the
hiding?
anger
What is he
behind it.
hiding?
Yes.
I think he's lost all hope,
Yeah.
and that he almost
Yes.
hopes. There is no evidence for this, though, so it's just a bizarre,
Well, yeah,
strange
but
It's just
theory
a
of mine.
feeling it gave you.
Yeah,
And-
yeah,
So he just keeps getting on
And
planes
I'm
back
in-
and forth,
I'm
just
in
hoping
tune
one of
with
them will
that.
crash on the Lost Island.
So he keeps buying everybody drinks, hoping that he can crash the plane and end his existence. But he's having a fun time all the way out. So he's living that scenario. It's better to burn out than to fade away, kind of ideas. So
I can see that.
I kind of can dig that. I can dig that.
Do you
But-
think he knows which pilot it was that his,
feel
his
like he
woman
does.
had cheated on with?
or it's just all pilots. He hates all pilots because she
Well,
left him for
he's
a
got a
pilot.
vendetta.
Right.
Well, can
Yeah.
you not look up the pilot
'Cause
of
that's
your
logical.
flight? I've never flown, so I'm unsure.
I don't. You can meet him.
I feel like you have the right to know who is piloting your plane.
Right. Yeah.
So he's. I feel like he could be stalking the man that his wife is now with,
or woman.
and
We
or
didn't
woman.
even consider
yes, that
that.
is true.
We didn't
He
even
did not-
consider
He did not
that
speak
as
on the
well.
gender.
I know.
or
Yeah.
anything.
Right. We didn't even think about
And
it.
we
Yeah.
had no animals to compare it to.
Yeah.
There were no donkeys mentioned in this poem.
There were no swamps. Or there wasn't even there wasn't even a trailer park to mention in this, and that's kind of an upscale, up high in the sky kind of scale for these Southern poets.
Well, isn't an airplane, specifically a G6, like a double wide trailer?
That is true.
in the sky.
Maybe
the
they're
sky.
just so intoxicated and high on their whiskey and cocaine that they think that they're in the sky, but it's truthfully just them rocking their trailer back and forth because they're so rowdy inside it.
So they are on a plane.
Yes.
Like you mentioned before, you weren't sure if it was
Right.
in
It's a
the air
different
or on
plane
the
of
ground.
existence.
Is it an Airstream?
Oh wow.
I feel like it is an Airstream.
Yeah, it's
This-
a different plane of it. They crossed over from having too many
Cocaines.
alcoholic beverages and
Too many
cocaines.
cocaines. Yes.
Yes, because pouring cocaine.
A lot of cocaine.
You will-
if you're pouring it for everybody.
So the thing that I keep thinking is, if my Southern poet and your Southern poet might have actually been in the same trailer park together. What was your name again? Big Schma?
Big Smo.
Oh, Big Schma. Okay, so yeah, they could have been in the same trailer park as they were talking about in that poem. And so, what if he was at that party?
I mean, he might have seen it.
And what if he had another lady trapped in the bedroom in that trailer?
No. See, at the modular home corral in which he lived,
Oh, I'm sorry.
everything was consensual.
That's your business's slogan. I've made up my mind. I've made up my mind that if Tiny ever has a business, it's gonna say, "Don't worry, it's consensual." Like,
I just wish you gentlemen could take this poetry just a little more seriously.
I'm sorry. I can. Okay.
Don't worry. I will take it seriously.
Please do.
Thank you, Mark.
And
Please do.
Because, well, there's such a large selection of great Southern poetry. I just want to read a
Absolutely.
little excerpt before I get into my main poet. This one is by Justin Moore.
I like the
titled Bait a Hook.
Can you say the last name one more time,
Moor?
please?
Oh,
That's a beautiful last name.
Moor?
Moor? Okay.
I like that.
I love that.
In his poem called Bait a Hook. I heard he's got a Prius 'cause he's into being green. My buddy said he saw y'all eating that sushi stuff. Baby, that don't sound like you. That don't sound like love. Sounds like it sucks.
whoa.
And then, so I just wanted to pick a beautiful excerpt from his poem before we get into Adkins' classic Southern poem called Honky Tonk Badonkadonk. Turn it up some. All right, boys. This is her favorite song. You know that, right? So, if we play it good and loud, she might get up and dance again. Ooh. She put her beer down. Here she comes. Left, 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 right, left. Ooh. Hustler shooting 8-ball, throwing darts at the wall, feeling damn near 10 feet tall. Here she comes. Lord help us all. Old TW's girlfriend done slapped him out of his chair. Poor old boy. It ain't all his fault. It's so hard not to stare at that honky tonk badonkadonk. Keeping perfect.
You didn't give this a once over before this? Okay.
Keeping perfect rhythm. Make you want to swing along. Got it going on like Donkey Kong. And hooey.
Come on. Go.
Shut my mouth. Slap your grandma. There ought to be a law. Get the sheriff on the phone. Lord have mercy. How'd she even get them britches on? That honky tonk badonkadonk. Oh, son. Now, honey, you can't blame her for what her mama gave her. It ain't right to hate her for working that money maker. Band shuts down at 2, but we're hanging out till 3. We hate to see her go, but love to watch her leave. With that honky tonk badonkadonk. Keeping perfect rhythm. Make you want to swing along. Got it going on like Donkey Kong. And woo-wee. Shut my mouth, slap your grandma. There ought to be a law. Get the sheriff on the phone. Lord have mercy. How'd she even get them britches on? With that honky tonk badonkadonk. Oh, that's what I'm talking about right there, honey. We don't care about the drinking. Barely listen to the band. Our hands, they start shaking when she gets the urge to dance. Driving everybody crazy. You think you fell in love. Boys, you better keep your distance. You can look, but you can't touch. That honky tonk badonkadonk. Keeping perfect rhythm. Make you want to swing along. Got it going on like Donkey Kong. And hoo-wee. Shut my mouth, slap your grandma. There ought to be a law. Get the sheriff on the phone. Lord have mercy. How'd she even get them britches on? That honky tonk badonkadonk. That honky tonk badonkadonk. Yeah. That honky tonk badonkadonk.
No. Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
That's it right there, boys.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold it. You can
gotta
do
get this in.
Yeah, you can do it.
I need it.
Do it. Give me it.
That's it. Right there, boys. That's why we do what we do. It ain't for the money. It ain't for the glory. It ain't for the free whiskey. It's for the Badonkadonk.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that.
There, is that what you wanted?
I'm sorry that went off the rails. There, it's just sometimes my emotions get the best of me during these situations.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Southern poetry.
What is there to say?
What was the name of this gentleman again?
Trace Adkins.
Now, I have a hard time calling Mr. Adkins a gentleman. I do that out of respect because obviously he is at a club or a honky tonk or someplace where people gather and dance. And he is creeping on this fine young lady. Specifically looking at her
Posterior?
yes, her posterior.
Him and his whole band, I believe.
his whole band.
Or all of his buddies.
Yes, he is there.
Could be brothers. Could be a band of brothers.
To do a job of playing music for these people to have a wonderful time. And apparently all he can do is look at this young lady's posterior. I mean,
It's rude of her, honestly.
Well,
he's there to do a job, right? He was
the thing is,
hired.
though, he even talked about how he wanted to be mad at her, but you know that you can't blame her for
and
what her mama
he
gave
does
her.
speak about the trauma that her, in his words, Badonkadonk, causes him.
Right.
He even becomes violent against his own grandmother because of the trauma that this lady's posterior has caused him.
I mean, I have seen a fine posterior in my day.
It's tragic. It's just tragic.
I have seen a fine posterior or two in my day, but I've never raised my hand to my grandmother, nay, or even my mother, because I saw a luscious posterior.
He even pontificates about making some sort of draconian law in order to somehow cause her to wear maybe something different, because he doesn't seem to understand how she got her pants on.
I feel like he's a man that strictly wears kilts. Because
maybe
obviously he does not understand how pants work.
Yeah.
You insert one foot in one leg, the other foot in the other leg, and then draw them up both of your legs simultaneously and belt them about your waist.
It causes him to go into
No difficulty.
to complete loss of motor function, I guess, as well, because you've got ooh-wee, shut my mouth, smack your grandma. Like, he automatically has to close his mouth forcefully just
then-
because he has an involuntary reaction.
And slap another's grandmother.
Is she a witch?
She might be. That
We
is.
don't know the time period of the setting, and as we all know, witches were around more. Well, I know they're around more today, but they were more hunted back in the day. She could be a witch. This could be a spell that she's putting on. Apparently, she's wearing breeches that are seemingly impossible to even put on your body.
Yes,
that
maybe
could
some
be
sort of magical
a dark
item
magic.
she found
absolutely,
on one of her quests.
She has caused him to seize up. Provoke violence against everyone's kin, elderly kin, much less.
She could possibly be a member of the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Oh,
Because,
they were persecuted for
yes,
years.
and those ladies...
Mercilessly.
Yes.
I remember.
Yes, and those ladies had a pair of pantalones, if you will, that they passed around the country, and they fit everyone. And each of these ladies had different body types completely,
Right.
And they fit them all perfectly.
Black magic.
It was black magic
It was.
and white magic.
I feel
And
like
Mexican
it
magic.
was.
They don't get their own magic often.
They
Yes,
don't.
they do,
I'm
Dane.
glad they do when it comes to the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, because these pants aren't held by borders.
Well, as long as it's not Santeria, I
don't
think it will
practice
be
that.
okay. Yes, I ain't got no Santeria. I ain't got no crystal ball.
Once again, magic.
Yeah.
Yes.
So okay, but back to
that
the
was
donk.
sublime,
But
Tiny. That was
Yes,
sublime.
That was very sublime.
so back to
Very
the-
subliminal.
It was.
So you have bewitching woman.
Yes.
with a tremendously cursed
Yes.
Is it
hindquarters.
Her
Because
hindquarters?
You stare at it.
Is it cursed or is it blessed?
I don't know, but by the sounds of it, it is cursed because, Lord have mercy. How did she even get her pants on?
Well, it's obviously the kind of posterior that causes like dystopia.
Well, which gentleman
Because
was
he
slapped out of his chair?
wanted these like authoritarian laws to be passed to
Yes.
stop her from flaunting it.
And wasn't some gentleman slapped out of his chair for just gazing upon her posterior?
This is
By
true.
an invisible force.
We didn't.
No. It said his wife, if I remember correctly.
TG, I think his name
Yes,
was.
I think it was TG or DW.
TW.
It was a gentleman with 2 letters for a name.
But his wife's been dead for 15 years.
Exactly. That's what it is. It's TW, is
So-
treacherous witchcraft.
Is this Badonkadonk hauntingly beautiful? That is the question.
That is a question.
Haunt a haunt, Badonkadonk.
This is getting really spooky.
I feel like you may have cracked the code.
it's actually pronounced haunt-a haunt badonkadonk.
And there's ghosts in her pants.
There's ghosts in them britches.
If I'm not mistaken, Shazam, were you not a paranormal investigator? So that would make you the expert on this.
I've never investigated something as close quarters as the inside of that poor dear woman's pants would
Some
be.
would say hindquarters.
Yeah, because the pants are so tight, you have to wonder how she even got them on. So I don't think there'd be any room for investigation, much less breathing or, bending over to tie your shoes or sitting comfortably after a fine meal. There's not a lot of that in pants like that. So this woman is clearly practicing witchcraft.
Because if they're so difficult because they're so tight, I feel like it raises a larger question. Not only how did she get those breeches on, to use such a crude and vulgar term for pants, how did she get her shoes on?
I think you put those on after.
Well,
Did you
yes.
put your shoes on before you?
Well,
pants?
if they're so tight to make it difficult for bending over or sitting even,
okay.
how
Okay,
does
okay,
one
okay.
put on one's shoes?
The
Most-
sisterhood.
Yep, Sisterhood of Traveling Shoes. That's the sister to the other sisterhood. See, these shoes just appear on your feet when your pants are too tight that you can't reach your feet.
Oh, like
So that's what they're there when you need them. It's
So
like
she
angels
called-
in the outfield.
she calls upon the, I believe it's pronounced Yaya Sisterhood. The Yaya Sisterhood.
The Yeehaw sisterhood.
The Yee-Haw
The
sisterhood.
Yeehaw
The
Sisterhood.
Yeehaw sisterhood of the traveling cursed pants.
Yee-Haw. I love carnival shoes.
How do we exorcise these demons out of this poor woman's pants?
Jumping jacks.
Squats.
Because you're not. Well, squats are going to be difficult in these pants,
No,
as
no,
Tiny
no.
mentioned.
No, exorcise. How do we cast them out?
okay.
I am a man of the
Okay.
cloth,
Right,
but I've
right.
never performed an exorcism.
Well,
Right.
honestly, to me, I think the easiest way to get me out of my pants is to set the bottom part of them on fire. Because there's no question that I need to get my pants off as quickly as possible. So we're gonna have to.
Burn the witch is what you're
Burn the
saying.
witch.
You're saying burn the witch.
That is exactly what it is. Burn the witch. If you set the bottom of her pants on fire, it will expel the demon from the innermost part of the pant, and the pant will return to their envelope where they can fly to the next deserving person.
Well, I do have a stake that we can put her upon if that is what is required
If it
to
needs-
remove these demons.
Yes.
It is a very special stake to me.
Yeah.
Is it Wagyu?
Yes. We need this whole situation. This needs to be well done. Okay.
Yes.
So
Well, it is. My mother and my father helped me make this stake.
It's well aged then.
can we agree?
It is about 33 years old.
Can we agree that this poem itself may be Yee-Hawnted?
It's
Absolutely.
possible. It does have a mystical quality about it, doesn't
Yeah.
It does.
It does.
Tracé Adkins?
This is
Even the name is haunting.
Yee-Hawnted is like an entire genre that does not exist.
That
But
does
it
now.
does that. Tiny, now is the time.
Yes.
Dang.
Boy.
So that
Can't
was
wait for that.
So
Yeah,
that was
I know.
also revolving around one of his earlier works that he had written about being afraid to be in the dark alone at home because of hauntings, called "Every Light in the House Is On." So that is some earlier work of, and the backyard. He even had him on in the back of the house too because he was so afraid of being in the dark.
I feel like he's seen these pants more than once. That's why he had every light in the house on.
Yep.
And then he was so haunted by these pants and this poor unfortunate lady's posterior that he had to devote an entire poem to it and the hauntingness of it.
It's just like Adam Lorraine
Because
Warren.
he probably even sees it when he closes his eyes and goes to sleep at night.
Just as we will do as soon as I stop recording this podcast. Thank you for listening to us. Just give you some of the Southern poetry that you either A, have heard in the past, never quite like this before, or you've never heard any of it, and this is brand new to you. This could be a whole new thing for you that you enjoy. If you did enjoy it, please keep sending those letters to us. You know the address. I've told you many times. But while you're doing that, listen to us on iTunes, on Spotify. And while you're on iTunes, go give us 5 stars, because if not, like, these pants could show up on one of us, and we will ye-haunt one another with our badonkadonks. No one wants that. We don't know where that will take the show if that were to happen.
It would make you ask, Lord have mercy, why did I not give these boys 5 stars?
Yes.
For that honky tonk badonkadonk.
Correct.
And if you're on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, you can go to @NerdGrapevine to find us there. Or you can donate a little bit to our Patreon account, and, you know, a little submission of maybe $5 or so here and there. That'd be awesome, just to show your support. We don't make any money off of this. We just have a good time doing it. If you do donate, you'll get a Patreon member sticker from Nerd It Through the Grapevine. It is a holograph, but don't look too deeply into the light on that, because it might cause your eyes to have some
Discord. Find us on Discord. Submit other types of poetry that you would like to hear, be it urban poetry or industrial poetry or stone poetry. And perhaps we'll revisit this again sometime. We now have a permanent link that will be in the description of the podcast, so everyone can more easily find us, be it Android or iPhone device. Come speak with us, live, uncut, and uncensored.
And if you ever feel like riding your donkey to the honky tonky to see the honky tonk badonkadonk, you'll know that the question that's been plaguing everyone's mind for the entire week is going to be, Dane, when life gives you grapes,
It's haunted! The grapes are haunted!
Honky tonk!